Last season, I think the league clocked the Montreal Canadiens as a fun team to watch. Exciting games, fun games to watch, but kind of a Cinderella type season. This year, they've become a problem. The teams last season that weren't taking them seriously, they have no choice but to this season. And if you consider last season a foundation year, then this year would be framing the future. In this video, I'm going to recap Montreal's season. We're going to talk about the big picture. We're going to talk about each player that played on the Canadiens this season. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. 48 wins, a 106-point season, a player that achieved over 100 points, a player that achieved over 50 goals. Yet somehow it still feels like they're just getting started. Just like this channel, we're gunning for 24,000 subscribers now. Can you help me get there? If you're already subscribed, don't worry about it. You can still help me out. Like the video, hype the video, show it to your mom's friend. So the Montreal Canadiens finished the season 48, 24, and 10. That's good for 106 points, 283 goals for, 256 against. This season wasn't just progress. This marked the end of the rebuild effectively. They now have their young core locked up for a significant amount of time. And ignoring everything that happened in the Atlantic this season, I feel like Montreal is now a team that isn't just expected to be in the mix, they're expected to make the playoffs. And at a very big picture, at bird's eye level, they've become a more offensive team. They've become more mature. No longer do they have to come back every single game. No longer are they giving up a ton of goals and then having to fight their way back. They still do that, but they do it less. And there's still kinks to work out. There's defensive chaos. There's roles that aren't completely filled, but there's so much to love with this young team and there's so much more to look forward to. So while we're talking about that, I think that the composition of the team improved, but there have been steps backwards in certain situations. There's certain individuals who didn't rise to the occasion, or maybe a better way to explain it is there's certain individuals that didn't meet the expectations that management kind of thought they would. We'll get to the players specifically in a moment, but while we're talking about big picture, is it safe to say that the coaching has gotten better this season as well? The change that slaps you in the face is Eric Raymond. Raymond is no longer with the team. They promoted Marco Marciano from the Rocket. And it just so happens that after he joined the team, it seems like the goaltending has solidified. But speaking specifically of maybe head coaching duties, felt like last season, the mob was riled up. Certain points of the season, the mob was wild. Fans had their pitchforks out, torches lit, but by the end of the season, I think that kind of flipped. Coaching kind of won fans over there by the end, didn't it? This season, there's still things that the internet mob and the fans get wild about, but it seems like some of the things that the fans are saying and makes sense get implemented. Why isn't Demidov playing on Unit 1? Line 2 isn't working well. Why don't they try something different? Questions about defensive pairings, questions about why is this individual not getting, 16 plus minutes a night? Now, personally, I think a lot of those things can be explained by the way that the Montreal coaching staff operates. They have a work-like philosophy. It's not unlike going into like an office job. And are you performing at expectations, above expectations? Are you exceeding expectations? Are you below expectations? You get compensated or rewarded for your efforts. And while it's hard to quantify, I really feel that that's how they operate. The other thing is that if you haven't given up on yourself, they're not going to give up on you. And I think that's a philosophy that Martin St. Louis owns himself. And he's also very heavy on attention to detail. And if you make mistakes, especially if they're foundational, you're kind of going to feel it. So I think there's no better example of individuals who this season didn't give up on themselves, so they kept getting chances than Montembeault. He was given chances, several chances, maybe more than 3 strikes. And when they made the decision to go another way, I feel like maybe Montembeault was fully on board with that decision. There's no way of knowing, of course, but that's just what I feel. And now the Canadiens have acquired some pieces this season. Phillip Danault to scratch an itch that the Canadiens had. He was a component that was really needed. He balanced the chemistry of the team. I thought it was a really good acquirement, although in hindsight, would it have been more cost effective and, potentially better in terms of performance to have kept Christian Dvorak? There's also an argument that it would have been better for the locker room. And personally, if I had my way, Dvorak would have been the choice. But Dvorak gets an offer from Philadelphia. It's probably more money than the Canadiens were comfortable of handing over. And he was going to be given a different type of role, first time minutes on the Flyers. That's just something that they couldn't have worked out in Montreal. So if you call that a dead end with Dvorak, then Danault might be one of the next best solutions. Zach Bolduc joined the team. He was acquired over the summer. We'll get more into his stats and how he did this season, but I think he's an individual you're going to need to be a little bit patient with. I think he was acquired for a specific reason, and he hasn't quite met those expectations yet. This is in a way his second full NHL season. It is his second full NHL season, so you can call this one a sophomore slump. But he did initially come out flying, didn't he? The Canadiens also acquired Sammy Blais over the summer. Picked up off of waivers, Blais provides something that I think they were also looking in Bolduc. The blockbuster trade was Noah Dobson. Traded at draft, Dobson was acquired from the New York Islanders. An offensively talented defenseman, big body, but he doesn't particularly use it. Well, he does use it. He uses it to block shots. Right shot defenseman, good at winning battles, and a calm, collected demeanor to shut down offensive pushes. I feel that Dobson was acquired for peace of mind, somebody who is going to achieve a certain level of excellence, and he's done that, and then some. Then we have Joe Veleno. Joe Veleno was signed for a mint. I feel like the fan base and analysts decided right away that if he was just used as an extra body, he was making his money's worth. But he managed to implement himself more into the team than I think anybody could have imagined. Has he been a popular player on the team? I think what is great about Veleno is he is able to work on both sides of the puck, and he's become trusted and recently has become a lot more respected. He fills in where Yoel Armia used to fill in. Now, once again, talking about Dvorak and Danault, well, is Veleno as good as Armia? I don't think so. So this might be another situation where hindsight could be pulled into the conversation. And then finally, we have Alexandre Texier. Signed to Montreal, basically the only option for him, or the option that was most obvious. He and his team, the Blues, fell out. He terminated his contract and tried free agency. Texier is an underdog, and he's already proven himself on the Montreal Canadiens, so much so that he's been extended and offered a contract. Now, a lot of people think that was a little bit hasty. But for the amount that he signed for and what he brings to the table, this is a bargain deal. So they made all those requirements, and then at deadline, they chose to not do anything at all. But were they missing a piece? Do they continue to miss a piece? I think that they really do. And it is in a large net front presence, but not in the offensive side of the sheet, in the defensive end, able to clear the front of the net. Somebody like David Savard, but not with his shortcomings. I really wish they could have found someone for the playoffs, somebody to help them out. But I do like the approach that they probably saw the price tags at deadline and didn't like what they saw and said, we could probably find someone over the summer. So to wrap things up in terms of talking about the big picture stuff, I think we've seen a lot of good progress. The young players are going to continue developing, continue getting better, at least for quite a while. And I do think that patience is the name of the game moving forward, and in terms of finding the right pieces. So that's going to do it for the big picture stuff. Let's talk about player-specific stuff. This is going to be fun because I think by and large, the Montreal Canadiens, their players were extremely good this season. A lot of players took a step. A lot of players had great seasons. And the individuals who have black spots, I mean, it's a lot to do with circumstance. So let's jump into this. Nick Suzuki, the captain. What can you say that hasn't been said about Nick Suzuki? Gone are the days of, he's a second line center. No, you can't get away with that anymore, Toronto Maple Leaf fans. We're not taking that no more. Find better material. Nick Suzuki achieved 101 points this season, 29 goals, 72 assists. He finished 6th overall for points, only behind McDavid, Kucherov, McKinnon, Celebrini, and Scheifele. Dang, Scheifele had a decent season. And then in terms of assists, he finished 5th overall, only behind McDavid, Kucherov, McKinnon, and Bouchard. Those don't count, Bouchard. So Nick Suzuki now sits as the 5th most points in the league for centers. If Nick Suzuki is a second-line center, then Mark Scheifele, Macklin Celebrini, Nathan McKinnon, and Connor McDavid are the only first-line centers in the league. I don't think that makes sense. Turning our attention over to Cole Caufield, or our little bundle of joy, as Hockey Junkie so fondly refers to him as. Caufield achieved 88 points, 37 assists, and the big one, 51 goals. He finds himself in rare air with Rocket, Boom Boom, Lafleur, Schutt, LaRouche, and Richer, the first Montreal Canadiens player to reach that number in 36 years. And guess what? He scored that 50th goal against Vasilevsky. Let's hope that he can continue doing that quite a bit in the upcoming series. Cole Caufield finds himself just 2 goals shy of Nathan McKinnon at the tippity top of the league, but that's okay. A lot of those goals McKinnon got, they were empty nets, so we'll call this one a moral victory. Lane Hutson, 12 goals, 66 assists, 78 points, plus 36. Lane Hutson also finds himself at the top of the league in terms of points. 4th overall for defensemen, only behind Bouchard, who doesn't count, Orensky, and Makar. Pretty good company. For defensemen, he's not in the top 10 for goals, but I think he's finding his touch. We're seeing him shoot more often, and we're also seeing his shot improve. But in terms of assists, he's 3rd in the league for defensemen, only behind Quinn Hughes and Evan Bouchard, who once again doesn't count. Then we have Juraj Slafkovsky, 30 goals, 43 assists, 73 points. Slafkovsky really found his role this season. And maybe that's not a good way to describe it. More or less, he began doing everything right. He's become much harder to play against. He wins his battles very regularly. He can win battles against multiple opponents. And because of that, we've seen an uptick in his assists, but also in terms of his goals. He muscles his way through, whether it being in front of the net or stuffing the puck in the net. Slav has become versatile. He's even got quite the shot. When Slav had the mission to go onto the second line to see if he could produce at that line, he accomplished that mission. He made that line effective. He's a support player. What he does is make his teammates better. So I really love what I'm seeing out of Slafkovsky, and gun to my head, if you had to ask me who I'm most excited about to see grow on this team, it's actually probably Slav, with a close second of Ivan Demidov, who we'll talk about next. Demidov played all 82. He has 19 goals, 43 assists, and 62 points. This young man just turned 20 years old. And although he's not going to win the Calder with Matthew Schaefer kicking around this league, he still finished on top of the rookie scoreboard for most points and most assists. 6th overall in goals for rookies, only 4 behind the leaders, Seneke and Schaefer. It's obvious that Demidov has so much room to grow. If you take a look at the games at the start of the season and his games recently, it's changed significantly. He's been like a sponge, like recalibrating his game. And it's going to take him a while to find the exact pace that he can perform best at. But he's also very young for a Russian player to be added to this league. So I do picture really big things for Ivan Demidov. That's going to do it for our top 5 guys. It's obvious that I'm really happy with what I've seen from these individuals. Do I have any complaints about these top 5? If I'm getting very, very critical, Cole Caufield could be a little bit stronger on the other side of the puck, although he did have some very heads up defensive plays this season. But that's not what he's there for, right? And then as well, Lane Hutson, for all the goals that he generates in the offensive zone. Maybe one time out of 15, he'll lose the puck at the blue line and someone on the opposing team will be on the break. Also, in terms of net front presence defensively, he leaves a little bit to be desired. Moving on to players 6 to 10 in terms of points, we have Noah Dobson. Talked a little bit about Dobson already, and although he didn't have a career year this season in Montreal, it is a testament to his ability that he was able to generate 47 points this season while playing, power play 2 time and not being put out there in situations where there's a lot of quarterbacking to be done. So I am really impressed with what Dobson has accomplished this season. He also leads the league in block shots. Actually, scratch that. Jake McCabe actually beat him by 2 block shots. I don't know if that just happened recently or that's kind of a downer. So very happy with Dobson. I did mention he could be more physical. He's a big guy. You'd think that he could push people around a little bit more. I did kind of tilt my head when Lane Hutson was defending Dobesh when Noah Dobson was on the ice with him. Oliver Kapanen, 37 points on his rookie season, 22 goals, 15 assists. So Kapanen is scrutinized quite a lot. A lot of Habs fans think that Ivan Demidov deserves a more skillful center. And as of recently, Kapanen has not been on the second line. Instead, he's been playing with Bolduc and Dach. Personally, I don't like that. Say what you will about his puck handling skills, say what you will about his decision making, but Oliver Kapanen has been Johnny on the spot on the second line. He knows where he's supposed to be. He shows a level of IQ that is extremely important in the center role, especially on the line that should be contributing in terms of points. He's only 22 years old, still a lot of time to grow. I would like to see exactly how far he can get. But will he have that opportunity? Is that seat always going to be there for him? Or are the Canadiens considering other options? Yeah, I don't know. The 2C debate continues to rage on. Mike Matheson finished with 37 points, 7 goals, 30 assists. Even after having his role completely changed, no longer on the power play, no longer used as an offensive driver, more used as a PK specialist, he is still generating top 10 in points on the team. And I'm going to be very bold and say defensively, Mike Matheson has the most skill on the team. That could be controversial. There are a lot of commenters that say launch Matheson into the sun. But there's a reason why he is 20th in the league for ice time, despite not getting power play time and not being used as an offensive cannon. He's an extremely trusted player, and when he makes mistakes, yeah, they're glaring mistakes, and you don't need a magnifying glass to point them out. But he does fill that unique role on the team, and he's an important part of the team. I think if the Habs didn't have Nick Suzuki, Mike Matheson would be the captain. Now I'm really agitating the Mike Matheson haters. Number 9, Zach Bolduc. Finished with 30 points, 12 goals, 18 assists. Pretty darn good, everything considered. He started off so hot, you thought that he had a chance to, go a goal per game at one point. But he really cooled off. He still plays around 13 minutes a night, so he is utilized. There are games where he played 17 minutes. There were games that he played 9. I think what they want from Zach is a forward with an edge, a hard forechecker, a hard back checker. Someone who can enter the zone on a dump in and regain puck control and keep it in the zone. And I found that his ability to do that, he struggles. It might be a thing that he just needs to tune his game to, and I'm really pulling for him. And of course, they're going to give him more time. Bolduc is 23 years old. He's a little bit older than Kapanen. I am still very encouraged about his development. Alex Newhook took an unfortunate injury this season. He was on pace for a career season. When he was injured on November the 13th, he had 13 points in 17 games. He had also been playing on the penalty kill He does show a lot of encouraging skills on both sides of the puck. His strength is his skating. He's got good puck handling. His finishing could use some work. I don't know if maybe there's a way at his age, 25 years old, by the way, that he could find better spots. But I think that when Newhook is playing on a line with his partners, he benefits most from fast, frenetic movement. So he's a little bit of an opportunist and not like a sniper. However, if he continues trending the way that he has this season, there is zero complaints about Alex Newhook's game. In fact, he has a 21.3% shot percentage, and he basically only played half the season. This would have been a 50-point season for Newhook. So don't change anything, Alex. Keep going. Jake Evans, he played 68 games. So the first time in 2 years, he missed a couple. He had 12 goals, 12 assists. Very balanced, 24 points altogether. Evans is an important role player. He is very good defensively. He plays a lot of penalty kill time. He's -8 for the season. I'm glad that they kept Evans because you can't go out and find a player like Jake Evans for the price that we have him at. He could have gotten more money. He could have gotten more money anywhere. He wanted to stay on Montreal. You got to respect that. And he had a solid year. I mean, there's nothing really to complain about. Josh Anderson, another role player. He does fulfill a lot of the things that Jake Evans does, but I will compliment Anderson by saying that he has other tools, and they're not tools that you could use all the time. But Anderson is a big body. He's able to fight. He's not fun to play against on the ice. Good defensively, a good penalty killer. And he's a tone setter. He sets the tone of the game, maybe with a big hit, maybe with his fiery attitude on the ice. He keeps the other team kind of in check. So he's a very valuable player in the playoffs. And I, for one, am very excited to see playoff Anderson once again this season. His shortcomings, like usual, he doesn't have the finishing you would like him to have, but he's improved again this season. He's at 15.7% shot percentage. It's just he's not being used as an offensive force, and that's okay. What that says to me is that he's being managed well. Brendan Gallagher, another role player, I guess you could say. He's Montreal's pest, but he's not just a pest. He's a grinder. He played 77 games this season, sits at 911 games career. Yeah, Gallagher got scratched a couple of times this season. That was pretty tough for him, I'd imagine. He's getting older and he's not as effective as he could be. A lot of games, you lose track of him. But when he's doing what he's best at, and that's fighting in the offensive zone for puck possession and making his opponents pay or suffer, punish them for making mistakes, that's when he's at his best, and that's when he is very useful to the team. I will echo what a lot of the analysts say about Gallagher, and it is that if he does get scratched every once in a while, comes back for a game, well, maybe he's taking care of himself on those off days, and maybe he comes in and he's able to play at the level he expects from himself. What does the future hold for Brendan Gallagher? His time in Montreal is coming to an end, but he can still contribute to the team while he's here, maybe just in a reduced role. And yeah, there's going to be a difficult decision for Gallagher when his contract terminates. Alexandre Carrier, 73 games this season, 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points. Jeez, the Blue Liners did really well this season. Carrier has not been a goal-scoring defenseman. 7 goals is certainly his record. He played 73 games in 23-24 with Nashville and caught 4 goals. That's his second most goals that he's scored. He plays 19 minutes a night. Carrier, his best attributes as a defenseman is he's good with his stick. He understands positioning. He is a shadow for his opponents, but he will sometimes suffer from his size against larger opponents, especially when they get in front of the net. But I really like Carrier's grit. He will take a hit to make a play. I just worry that he's going to take too many hits and he's going to cut his career short. And I'm sure that has been talked about. Carrier does get a lot of criticism, although I think a lot of his shortcomings and a lot of the problems he has is sadly linked to his size. Alexandre Texier, we've talked about him already. 51 games, 8 goals, 13 assists, 21 points, +9 on the season, and he hasn't always been given favorable deployments. He's been up and down the lineup, and he even played a while trying to satisfy a checking line role. He's a big enough guy, and he does play a pretty physical game. I do like Texier's game. I know a lot of individuals say that they were a little bit hasty with his signing, but he can do so much. And yeah, maybe he doesn't get rewarded, but I still feel like he's implementing onto the team, and there's a better fit for him. Philip Deneau, we talked about Deneau a little bit. Deneau is a face-off specialist. He's also great on the penalty kill. He's good defensively, and he can fill in on the back end when our talented defensive squadron are pushing. And for a forward, he still puts up pretty good minutes, about 15 minutes a night. He is getting a little bit older, but I don't see the slowdown in his game like Brendan Gallagher. So I really like Deneau where he is and what role he fulfills. Kirby Dach, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points altogether, -2 on the season. Been playing around 13 minutes a night. What do I want to say about Kirby Dach? He played 37 games this season. He's played 306 career games, and he's missed 268 career games. His injuries, he's so unlucky. I hate to say it. This is a personal thing, and this is something that you shouldn't ever say as someone that just watches hockey. That isn't out there. But I worry that he doesn't take his conditioning seriously. I'm not saying that that's the problem, but it is something that people talk about all the time, and I do actually worry about that. Jaden Struble, he's been finding a lot of time in the lineup. He has 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points. He's a +4, guys. He's played 59 games this season, and he's out there about 14 minutes a night when he plays. He has defensive shortcomings, but he's gotten a lot better. He finds his guy basically all the time now. So a lot of times before, he couldn't find his guy, and they fall back on Struble with Hutson a lot. The reason for that is Hutson does get sheltered a little bit, and Struble has decent defensive sensibilities, but he's trusted more because oftentimes the deployments allow him to go into the offensive zone. I'm pretty happy with Struble's game. Caden Guhle, 39 games this season, 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points, +5. Guhle plays around 20 minutes a game. He's still touted as the premier young defenseman on the team, defensive defenseman, I should say. And I do want to see him continue developing. It's a shame that he's been kind of prone to injury. I'm going to say it again, but it's tongue-in-cheek a little bit. The Alberta Beef Boys, they're kind of looking like Alberta Lamb. But Guhle has had serious injuries, and they've looked serious. Sammy Blais, 21 games, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. He's a +2, nearly a 17% shot percentage. Plays on average around 8 minutes a night when he does play. I don't think there's a lot to hate about Sammy Blais. He wasn't given the opportunity. Is this another case of me not being able to identify the ability of the skating for the player? Is he in the wrong place in the offensive zone? Does he get caught a lot of the times? He's a hard forechecker. It's a little bit of an enigma for me. Let me know in the comments what you think of Sammy Blais and maybe why he hasn't been offered another opportunity. Joe Veleno, 61 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points, -12. I've been liking his game a lot more recently, but there have definitely been times this season where I wondered why they kept using him. I can think of a couple of instances where he is playing in the defensive zone and he is watching the puck carrier. The puck carrier is able to get their pass to one of their teammates, and then they score. And it's usually because of an error, not because of Veleno, but because of somebody in front of the net or something to that effect. But I still wonder if Veleno is not pressuring puck carriers as much as he could be defensively. But now it seems like he's doing a better job of that. He also has the ability to just be tenacious. He has stolen the puck a lot in the offensive zone. He's an annoying to play against player. So yeah, that's some good stuff. So his reputation with me has improved a little bit recently, but I still think that there is somebody out there that could replace him easily. Arber Xhekaj, 65 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points, -8. The most penalty minutes on the team, plays about 11 minutes a game. It's been a disappointing year for Arber. There were big games where he came out and he looked fantastic. Just recently, he played 2 19-minute games. Now, he was -1 on both those games, but he also got an assist on one. I'm not sure if you remember, I think it was in December, Xhekaj was playing fantastic. His defensive game was really strong. His puck movement was working good. He was able to transition the game a lot. And I think it coincided with Caden Guhle coming back. They were playing together. And I remember thinking, Xhekaj, just don't let your head get too big. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to do more than what you've been doing. What you've been doing is excellent. Just stick with that. And that night, I think he gave up 2 goals, and they were essentially his fault. One, I remember vividly where he crossed with Guhle, trying to follow his man instead of allowing Guhle to track him. And he took out Guhle and himself and allowed the puck carrier to go in all alone. So, unfortunately, in a lot of ways, this has been a setback year for Xhekaj. And I know he's a fan favorite, and I really like him too, but he's got like no time left. And if he wants to stay on, he's got competition. I don't know what happens this summer with Xhekaj, but he also has skills that nobody else has on the team. He's an enforcer. You need to have your head on the swivel when he's out there. He also has a really heavy shot that I wish he could learn to use a little bit better. But yeah, his season has been kind of a bummer for me. Owen Beck, 15 games, 1 goal, that one magical goal, 0 assists. I think Owen Beck scored 3 goals this season, right? But only 1 was credited to him. 1 was called off. 1 was awarded to someone else. I can't remember, something like that. It was a little bit of a disappointing season for Owen Beck as well. I found that he couldn't find his rhythm. He's a good forechecker. He can protect the puck. He has two-way sensibilities. He just needs to be a lot more effective. Still 22 years old, has time, and he just turned 22. So we'll have to see what next season brings for Owen Beck. David Reinbacher has played 2 games for the Montreal Canadiens. He has recently been called up. He has an assist. He's been playing around 13 minutes a game, and I might be higher on David Reinbacher than most people. I really like the way that he has found his role defensively. He is extremely cautious, but plays a smart game. He is looking for puck possession. He is out there shadowing his opponents, finding his guy, being in the right place. But I do want to see more physicality out of him, and it's got to be in uncomfortable situations in front of the net with other players that are also very large. Patrik Laine has played 5 games this season. He's had 1 assist. This is going to go down as the only season that Patrik Laine played and did not score a single goal. There is something going on with Patrik Laine. I don't know what it is. I hope that we find out, but we might never find out. I think that he and the Canadiens organization are amicable. He wants to be a Montreal Canadien. He's found his love for hockey again, and, the fans really liked him. But he has shortcomings to his game that are liabilities. In so many ways, I find Patrik Laine is like Alexander Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin recently was just deployed defensively a few times. It's obvious that Ovechkin's game has taken a big step back, but he's got that incredible shot. I don't know what's going to happen with Patrik Laine. I'm really interested to find out, but I'll never take for granted what he did for the Montreal Canadiens last season. He had 5 game-winning goals. Without Patrik Laine, they would not have made it to the playoffs. Florian Xhekaj. Florian played 5 games with the Habs this season. He achieved 1 goal. He achieved 1 assist. He was -1. He played around 9 minutes a game, around, close to 10. And Florian is a lot like his brother. When he's out there, you can notice him, but is he doing the right things? I think yes and no. This team is a disciplined team. I think that Florian brings an intensity to his game that I would like to see in the NHL, and I think he does that on the Rocket. I feel like his time back on the Rocket this season was for a purpose. He changed his game a lot there for a while, but also went through a spell of being not producing that strongly. He did come back though and finish the season with 29 points, 17 goals, 12 assists in 62 games. I think his development is going decently. It's just I don't know how he implements onto this version of the Montreal team. Jared Davidson played 10 games with the Montreal Canadiens and had 1 assist. Davidson came in very strong. He looked like he had a lot of NHL skills. He was tenacious, good on the forecheck, battled for the puck, but it seemed as he kind of lost steam as he went, and there were less moments in each game where you were like, there he is, there he's doing something really good right now. Watch him. Look what he's going to get a goal. He's going to get a goal. I felt like he was going to get rewarded eventually, but it never came. And then I don't know if it was that he got discouraged and his game suffered from it, but yeah, he dropped off quite a bit. Adam Engstrom has played 15 games now. He has 1 assist, +2. He's a little bit sheltered. He gets paired with Xhekaj. 13 minutes average ice time. I like Engstrom's game. I just don't know if he has the type of pedigree that the team is looking for right now defensively. I don't think it's controversial to say that David Reinbacher has a lot more of a ceiling. Reinbacher is also younger than Engstrom, but I feel like Adam Engstrom has offensive capabilities that unfortunately he's had to kind of stunt a little bit in order to identify himself as someone that might fit onto the lineup. He's looking for a seat, but again, another individual that I think might not be able to find a seat in Montreal. Joshua Wawa played 3 games this season. Let's look at his stats on Laval. 56 games, 23 goals, 21 assists, 44 points. He can do it. He's shown that he can do it. He's still only 22 years old. There's just something stopping him. And I don't know what it's going to take for Hua, but I'd love to see him be able to prove people wrong, because he was an effective part of this team at one point. A little bit of a RHP situation. So that's going to do it for the players. Like I said, by and large, really happy with what the players are doing. I think that some individuals could leave the organization, maybe find greener pastures and maybe find bigger roles on other teams, but that's for the off season. Now, let's look at goalies. There's a lot to be said about these 3 goaltenders. Jakub Dobeš, 43 games, 29 wins, 10 losses, 2.78 goals against average, 901 save percentage. You have to be happy with what Dobeš has done for this team. He was the Samuel Montembeault of this season, where Montembeault played the majority of the games last season and came out with a lot of wins. Dobeš did that this season. He's essentially won 3/4 of the games that he's played. So while his goals against average could be better, and he's just managed to get his save percentage above 900. He makes important saves, and the ones that do make it in, there's usually a good excuse why it did. The same could not be said about Samuel Montembeault this season. 10 wins, 8 losses, 3.43 goals against average, 0.872 save percentage. Montembeault had a really difficult season. He was given the ability to reset, a few times this season. He would come back, play 1 or 2 games really well, and then continue to allow shots from the point inside the net. It's a little bit of a mystery, but I think a lot of it has to do with confidence, and with goaltenders, they're temperamental. If they break, they're broken. So Montembeault has a hard road back. I hope that he does get another opportunity. I just don't know where that's going to be, and I hesitate to say that it's going to be in Montreal. Jacob Fowler played 17 games. He's played 17 games, won 9, lost 6, which is not great. His goals against average, however, is 2.43, and his save percentage is 908. Better goalie stats than Dobesh. So why isn't he getting more wins? I think the sample size is pretty low. I think Fowler next season will have a bigger history or more bigger sample size to look at, and I think that there could continue to be competition for that first seat. However, currently, I think that Dobesh has earned his spot as the starting goaltender, especially if you look through the lens of the recent games. Dobesh had a lot of 1 goal against games, posting save percentages like 971, 973, 944, 947. Yeah, Dobesh has had some stellar games deeper into the season. There's still a very big part of me that says Fowler is the future. He's just so much more mechanical than Dobesh, but Dobesh has been very mechanical recently. It's a developing story, but that's it for the goaltenders. And that's it for my recap. I hope you enjoyed this. It is currently 1:18 a.m. I was planning on editing this video and getting this out tonight so that I could get a hype video out tomorrow night. I don't know if that's going to work anymore, but I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably a pretty long one. I can't even tell at this point. Tried really hard for you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. It's really been a gift, this channel and everything that you've allowed me to do. So keep watching, and for those of you who aren't subscribed, why not subscribe or consider subscribing? That's going to do it for me, guys. Hope you're taking care of yourselves. Hope you're having a good week. Game 1 against Tampa Bay in Tampa is on Sunday. I believe it is a 6 o'clock start Eastern. I'm extremely excited. Expect my recap to go up, basically right after the game. And yeah, I guess I'll see you then, or I'll see you soon. But yeah, you guys know what to do. Like the video, helps me out with search results. I think pretty sure it does. Subscribe. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.
What's up?